Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. They said, say Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack or in my back, yeah. They said, say Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack or in my back, yeah. Frozen, neck is frozen, catch me rolling, I'm the chosen.
It is time for one of our favorite segments, our top 5 segment. This week, why don't you tell the people what we have in store for them?
Absolutely. So last week we saw the last college football regular season game, and with that always comes the awarding of the Heisman Trophy. So in line with that thinking, in line with that time of year, we decided to come up with our top 5 Heisman winners who played in the NFL. So we're picking the top 5 players who won the Heisman and had great NFL careers. And Mize, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and go first and do mine, and then we'll
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to go number 5, and this is running back from Georgia, Herschel Walker. We got him here in a Cowboys uniform. He played for Dallas in a few years after going to the United States Football League in the 80s, was a really nice running back for Dallas, went to a couple Pro Bowls. He is most significantly well known for the trade Dallas did, sending him to Minnesota for a bunch of draft picks that turned the Cowboys into a dynasty in the early 1990s. Despite that, Herschel Walker played a long time in the NFL, lost a few years because he played in the USFL prior to that, but had a long, very nice career. Now he's actually running for Senate too in Georgia. So big stuff coming out of Herschel Walker, I'm sure, in the future. He's number 5 on my list of top 5 Heisman winners. Number 4 on my list of top Heisman winners, I have Paul Hornung from Notre Dame. This was a name probably not a lot of people know of, but this was one of the guys who made the Green Bay Packers under Vince Lombardi go. He won the Heisman for Notre Dame, got shipped up after being picked by the Green Bay Packers, and they were terrible for a while. They bring in Lombardi. Lombardi needs a guy to run his halfback sweep. So a little NFL history for you. When Lombardi was coaching for the Giants before going to Green Bay, they had Frank Gifford, who they ran sweeps and passes with. They did the same thing with Hornung. Hornung could run the ball, he could throw the ball, he could also kick. He had the NFL record for points in a season for the longest time till LaDainian Tomlinson broke it with his 30-touchdown season a few years ago. I have Hornung number 4 on my list. Number 3 is Tony Dorsett, won the Heisman for Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh before playing for Dallas. Was a great career at Pittsburgh, won the Heisman, won a lot of games for a really, really good program at that time. Went to the Cowboys. His first year they win the Super Bowl. That's the impact he had. Went on to have an NFL Hall of Fame career for Dallas. Played in a bunch of big games as Dallas did that time period. Bunch of big moments. Known for his game-breaking running ability. Had the first 99-yard touchdown run in NFL history. Tony Dorsett, Hall of Famer, Heisman Trophy. He's number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list of the top Heisman Trophy winners in NFL history, this is Barry Sanders. He won the award at Oklahoma State and then was drafted by the Detroit Lions in 1989 and immediately set the NFL on fire. Unfortunately for Barry, he played for a very, very bad Detroit Lions team. They only made the playoffs a few times. You know, he got a lot of worn down by the end of his career, but always known for big highlights, numerous big seasons, 2,000-yard rushing season, highlight after highlight, unbelievable career in the NFL, first ballot Hall of Famer. You know, that's Barry Sanders right here. I got him number 2 on my list. Number 1 is a guy, Roger Staubach, quarterback for Dallas. He won the Heisman Trophy at Navy. Look, I think Staubach, if Staubach's story happened today, it would literally be on the cover of ESPN, SportsCenter, everything all the time. Because here's a guy who went to the Naval Academy, won the Heisman Trophy, went to Vietnam for 5 years, came back, played for Dallas, won 2 Super Bowls, retired as the NFL's all-time leading passer. So to give you an idea, and right, this is a guy who's very, very Christian in his beliefs, very, very, very upfront about that kind of thing all the time. Imagine if Tim Tebow, after winning the Heisman in Florida, went to Iraq for 5 years, came back, won 2 Super Bowls, and had a better passer rating than Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
That's essentially what Roger Staubach's career was. It was unbelievable. It will never be repeated again in NFL history. There's no doubt about it. And that's why I have him number 1 on my list, a guy who was deemed Captain America as his nickname as the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, Roger Staubach. And then here's my underrated Heisman Trophy winner in NFL history. Now, look, this is a guy who never played in the NFL. And the reason he didn't play in the NFL was because he was unfortunately diagnosed with leukemia. This is Ernie Davis, running back for Syracuse. He is the first African-American to win the Heisman Trophy in history. He followed up Jim Brown at Syracuse, and in some ways was better than Jim Brown as a running back, which is definitely saying something. This guy had a really, really bright NFL future. He was going to be a superstar. Unfortunately, leukemia knocked him down in his early 20s, and he died. He's a big legend now. There's been movies made about him. It's an all-time great story and an all-time great player. He never had a chance to play in the NFL, unfortunately. I'm sure he would have been a superstar, no doubt about that in my mind. And he just misses the cut as my underrated Heisman Trophy winner to play in the NFL.
That is a great list there, Nick, as always. But without further ado, I'll get right into my list. Number 5 for me is George Rogers. Yes, South Carolina Gamecock alumnus, first ever Heisman for the Gamecock, only Heisman winner for the Gamecocks. This Rogers was such a dynamic player in college. Really, really, really powerful runner. And why I have him number 5 is when he came in his rookie year, he led the NFL in carries, yards, and yards per game, which is pretty incredible if you think about it for a rookie to come in and do those kind of things. And also in 1986, Rogers also led the NFL in rushing touchdowns. So he was a pretty good player in the NFL, to say the least. He played for the Redskins, the Saints, and a couple other teams. But that is my number 5. My number 4, somebody we all know, we all love, Doug Flutie. Maybe he was a better college player than he was pro, but nonetheless, that does not stop us from loving Doug Flutie, the original undersized quarterback who went out and did it all. He won the Heisman in 1984 for Boston College. We all remember his Hail Mary pass. Doug Flutie was drafted 285th overall by Los Angeles Rams, but he never played for the Rams and actually went over to the Buffalo Bills, where he was known most for. In 1998, he was elected to the Pro Bowl, and that same year, he also won NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Doug Flutie is synonymous with the word tough. He endured 107 sacks in his NFL career. He was a guy that took a beating and kept on ticking. Doug Flutie, my number 4 Heisman winner who played in the NFL. Moving on to number 3, another quarterback. I'm starting my Ravens. You had your run on Dallas players. I'm going to start my run on Ravens players. Former Ravens quarterback. He may have played for some other teams, but that's who I like to think of about. Vinnie Testaverdi. Also, the tie-in with Baltimore, Miami players. Won the Heisman at the University of Miami in 1986. He was the number 1 overall pick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had a long career. Played for the Bucs, the Browns, Ravens, Jets, Cowboys, Jets again, Patriots, and the Panthers, where he finally retired. He was 2-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, and he was just a general run-and-gun type passer. Testaverde was very, very fun to watch as a player, and that's why he's on my list. In my number 2 spot, though, another player, as we all know, Baltimore Ravens legend Ricky Williams. So some of us might think that he played for Miami, but he actually ended out his career in Baltimore. So fun fact, he wore number 34 there, and that's how I have him pictured here. But Ricky Williams was actually one of my favorite players of all time. His career in New Orleans and Miami, he truly was somebody special. Just like Barry Sanders, he walked away from the game early due to completely different reasons. Unfair drug testing practices, I guess, is what he akined it to. But he was a superstar at the University of Texas, where he won the Heisman in 1998. He was the number 5 overall draft pick and the best year in Williams' career. He was selected to the Pro Bowl. He was an All-Pro, led the NFL in rushing, and was the Pro Bowl MVP. He's rushed for over 10,000 yards, and Ricky Williams, truly, truly a great running back, just like Barry Sanders. Wish he would have played longer, but love him to death. That is my number 2 player. Now, number 1, you're thinking, Ravens. Who could he have picked? Of course, my number 1 Heisman player that plays in the NFL, it's got to be Lamar Jackson. I mean, Lamar's a bona fide superstar. He's already won MVP, been voted to the Pro Bowl almost every year he's been in the NFL, All-Pro nods, set NFL rushing records, has his offense that he pioneered, or that was pioneered for him, rather, set the NFL total rushing record. I mean, he's breaking records left and right. This year, he's carrying around a 4th-string practice squad players, and we're still the 1st seed in the AFC North. Lamar Jackson is one of the most special players anybody has ever seen, and I think for that reason is why I have him as number 1 on my list of Heisman players in the NFL. Finally, for my honorable mention, I have another different sort of pick. Running back from Detroit, Billy Sims. Billy Sims was a guy who he played at the University of Oklahoma, 1978, won the Heisman. He also he was attending Oklahoma to get his master's degree, something I thought was pretty cool. You don't see a lot of players go for post-secondary or education like that, leave high school, go to college, get their degree, and then go back and try to further after that into grad school. So I think that's a pretty interesting fact that a lot of people should look for. In 1980, though, the Detroit Lions selected him number 1 overall. He's been to numerous Pro Bowls, numerous All-Pros, NFL Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, all kinds of accolades. Sims was truly a special player, but I like the fact that he wasn't just a physical player. He's a cerebral player, kept his brain sharp, and to that, I think he's a great example of a Heisman player in the NFL.
Yeah, I think that's a great list, and I think both of us getting our underrated guys with me with Ernie Davis and you with Billy Sims, kind of two sort of outside the lines kind of stories there to kind of wrap it up. I think that's good, man. That was a fun top 5. I really like these, but that may have been my favorite so far.